bench by the forest trail still leans left from every tale. We carved dates in the oaken bark as the world slowed down till dark. You wore that jacket 3 sizes wide, laughed so hard you had to hide. I remember the sound of leaves twirling down like shattered dreams. Every letter you wrote in blue had crooked lines but felt so true. Pressed in books I never read, kept beneath my makeshift bed. The wind has turned and so have we, but I still hum our melody. Though faces pass and time gets thin, I still trace where we had been. Echoes through the pines, they stay, wondering where we lost our way. Though the fire faded slow, the warmth remains beneath the snow. I can't forget the things we knew, not erased by what life drew. Echoes through the pines, they play every night and every day. Trains rolled past the midnight air. We swore we'd leave, but never dared. You held my hand with trembling grace, like time would freeze in that one place. Your name still floats in whispered rain, carried low beneath the pain. Even though the paths have split, I still feel what we once lit. Echoes through the pines so near, still I feel you standing here. No promise lost, no vow betrayed, just time that came and gently swayed. The forest holds what words can't keep, buried soft and buried deep. Echoes through the pines so clear, even now you feel so near. Curtains sway with a breathless hush, walls bathed in golden blush, records spun with a quiet grace, while silence danced across your face. We barely spoke, no need to say what burned between us yesterday. The world turned soft in fading light as shadows wrap the coming night. You reached to fix a strand of thread that fell across my shoulder spread, and in that pause I felt the flame of every moment we became. No grand speech, no vow to keep, just skin and time and layers deep, like tide and sand that pulse below. We drifted in the afterglow. The hallway clock had lost its will, but hearts don't tick, they simply fill with every breath. The room grew slow, a quiet pulse, began to flow. Your hand moved near the window frame, traced old marks without a name. And in that motion, clear and wide, I saw the truth we used to hide. You turned and said, the air feels strange, as if the sky had rearranged. And though I smiled, I knew inside that time was done with being kind. But still we stood, no need to flee, two souls content to simply be. No fear, no fight, no place to go, just drifting in the afterglow. So drift with me where echoes breathe, where time forgets the need to leave. No need for maps or roads to show the way to where the moments go. Each glance a note, each sigh a line, in songs that stretch beyond design. So drift with me, not fast, not slow, just drift into the afterglow. Your voice was faint, like distant strings, not gone, just soft in how it sings. I caught it near the kitchen wall, where we once danced back when we'd fall into that laugh, that stubborn spark that made the night seem less dark. We broke two cups in clumsy grace and left them there in their same place. And as the years pulled you away, I tried to speak, had things to say, but silence held you like a shield. So I stepped back and let it yield. Now memories don't shout or plead, they bloom in moments I still need, like stars too faint for morning show, but fierce inside the afterglow. It's not regret that finds me here, just the way the past feels near. No bitterness, no aching wound, just soft perfume in a quiet room. I walk these halls and hear the breeze trace the shape of missing keys. And though your hand's not in my own, I've never felt so much at home. So drift with me through all we kept, the laughter shared, the tears we wept. Let silence be the place we grow, still reaching through the afterglow. Each thread of love, each breathless spark, still glowing even in the dark. So drift with me, not fast, not slow, forever in the afterglow. Now every dusk I sit alone, still warmed by what the night had shown. No need for names or grand display, some hearts just hum and fade away. But in that hush where memories slow, I find you in the afterglow. Linen curtains sway with grace, threadbare dreams in their embrace. Every thread stitched by a name, once spoken loud, now lost to flame. We stood beneath the amber sky, not to speak, just breathe and try to let the world fade far behind, and weave a path that wouldn't bind. You traced a thread on my old coat, frayed and pulling at the throat. Whispered even cloth can fray, but hold its strength along the way. The wind replied in whispers low, tugging tales from long ago. We walked along the quiet bend and felt the world begin to mend.
soft repeat. You hummed a song with no refrain, but every note erased the pain. The day the sky wore cotton gray, the kind that never fades away, and every gust, each leaf it tossed, reminded me of what we lost. You took my hand without a plan, no story carved, no lines we ran, just fingers interlocked and true, holding fast to something new. A scarf you wore began to dance as if it knew about romance. It caught the air, it caught my eye, and tied itself to every side. Threads in the wind spun from the past, woven tight but made to last, tangled in the words we said, in every tear that we both shed. They drift around and find a way to haunt the night and bless the day. No matter where or how we've been, we're sewn in threads that ride the wind. The seasons came, the seasons flew, but colors fade from something true. We didn't end, we just grew still like autumn trees upon the hill. I wrote a line, you sang it back, then time erased it from the track. But even songs that fade from stage still echo on the weathered page. I found your letter in a drawer between old socks and tales of yore. You wrote of peace, of letting go, of learning that love doesn't show in holding tight or standing near, but knowing you were always here, not in the room, not on the floor, but drifting just beyond the door. If every word we've ever shared were laid in cloth and gently paired, it'd make a quilt so vast and bright it'd catch the wind and hold the light. I see you in the folds and seams, in every space between the dreams. No hand could ever quite unbind what time and soul have intertwined. Threads in the wind, they rise, they fall, they pull me back, they say it all. No thread breaks without a trace, it floats in air, it finds its place through tangled years and fleeting skin. You live in threads that stretch within, where once we met and once we sinned, still live the threads that ride the wind. I walk the fields and feel the tug of something warm, a silent hug, not fabric worn, not ribbon fine, but something deeper, near divine. I pause, I breathe, I turn again, and let the breeze remind me when we didn't need to speak or spin to feel the threads that ride the wind.
Footsteps on the cobblestone, evening dressed in amber tone. Cafe lights begin to fade. We walk along this grand parade. No crowds, no cheers, no marching bands, just steady hearts and quiet hands. Your laughter spilled like vintage wine, unfolding soft in measured time. I watch the breeze catch strands of hair, like music floating through the air. Your coat swung wide with every stride, a rhythm slow but dignified. We passed old signs, we passed closed doors, but didn't care what came before. The night became a carousel of moments neither one could sell.
Paper lanterns swung above, casting shadows made of love. You paused to dance along the square,
as if no one else was there. And I in awe could barely speak, afraid my voice might sound too weak. So I just matched your every turn and let the silence help me learn. We crossed the bridge past midnight's bell. The echo rang, but time won't tell the story written in our pace. The hush that filled that open space, it wasn't youth, it wasn't fire. It was something slow, something higher. A melody we never played, still echoed in our timeless parade. So march with me, no need for song, no finish line, no right or wrong. We don't need drums to keep our beat, just hands that never feel defeat. We stroll through years, through joy, through ache. Each moment real, no move is fake. As hearts align and feet obey the rhythm of our timeless parade. We found a bench near someone's gate, where ivy climbed to meet its fate. You leaned your head upon my sleeve and whispered dreams you'd never leave. Not dreams of fame or distant lands, but simple ones like touching hands, or waking up with morning's breath, still calm, untouched by fear of death. There in the hush a brass tune played from some old window half decayed. The trumpet spoke like it had cried through every year we'd set aside. I didn't flinch, you didn't speak. The music made our silence weak, but in its sound a vow was laid to walk forever in this parade. No need for medals, suits, or cheers. This love outlives the noise of years. It walks in coats with buttons loose and hearts that never need excuse. We've worn through shoes, we've lost our maps, but still we tap, we still collapse in rhythm with the way we met. With every dawn we start again. So march with me in fading sun, where all we are becomes just one. No grand brass band, no flags in flight, just steady souls beneath the night. Through laughter's glow and sorrow's shade, we move along our timeless parade. No past to mourn, no need to trade what lives inside this love we made. And if someday our names grow faint, worn down like old forgotten paint, the stones may crack, the years may blur, but streets remember those who were. And long after we've ceased to fade, we'll march again in threads replayed. Not gone, not loud, just hearts that stay, still moving in our timeless parade.
Found a box beneath the stairs, lined with threadbare linen squares. Tucked between a faded vest were letters I had long suppressed. Pages bent and corners torn, edges brown like fields in storm. Ink had run and names were faint, but every line still bore your saint. The dates were random, words half gone, but I could feel what lingered on. Not anger sharp nor sorrow's weight, just memories left to marinate. One note red, time forgets the flame, but ashes whisper all the same. I closed the lid but not my chest, these words still press against my vest. The hall still holds the scent of rain, mixed with wax and something plain. You used to write beneath that light with a slanted pen and knuckles tight. I never read them in their time, afraid I'd find the fault was mine. But now, years on, they ring like truth, the final song of fleeting youth. One letter spoke of borrowed books, of kitchen nights and knowing looks. Another traced a silent rift, a space that widened with each shift. No signature, no ending line, just drops of ink that tried to shine. Still folded neat, still laced in trust, still buried deep in layers of dust. Letters in the dust remain, scattered like an old refrain. Words we lost but couldn't kill, they live between the cracks until a breeze returns to stir them up, to pour regret in one more cup. No fire can cleanse, no storm can rust the weight of letters in the dust. There's power in what goes unread, in verses left beside the bed. Your final page just said it's time, no warning sign, no drawn out rhyme. But what you left behind was loud, a thunder stitched inside a cloud. And every year I didn't turn, another year for me to learn that love survives in strangest ways, in attic air and yesterdays, in pencil marks on closet walls, in names we wrote down bathroom stalls. A single cufflink, unmatched shoe, can sometimes say what words won't do. Yet all I have are lines you penned to start the close and skip the end. I never thought I'd miss the sound of pages turning all around, but now it's all I seem to hear, a rustle near, a voice too clear. You may be gone, you may have fled, but here's your echo softly read. Not a haunting me, not sharp or thrust, just breathing from the dust. Letters in the dust survive, past every fall we couldn't drive. They speak in hush, they breathe in pain, they ask for nothing yet remain. I never wrote a word to send, but somehow yours still never end. Each line a map, a cry, a trust, still speaking from the dust. Someday someone may find these sheets among the jars and tangled beads, and wonder who we were and why our words refuse to say goodbye. Let them guess or let it fade, I'll know the parts we never made. For every tear and kiss discussed still lives inside these letters in the dust.
We met where echoes softly drift, past hallway lamps and evening lift. Your footsteps landed near the grain of wooden floors that sang our name. The world was wide, the voices low, but nothing rushed. We moved in flow, no clock, no rules, no things to fix. Just gentle hearts and candle wicks. You held your coat in crooked grays, paused beneath that narrow space between the stair and old red wall, as if the hush could catch it all
And though we spoke in measured tones, each word was stitched with undertones of lives once torn, now loosely shared. Like whispered poems the air declared. Whispers on the stair remain through every drought, through every rain. They speak in tones too light to bear, but wrap around the silent air. No picture frame, no paper made can hold the truth that never fades. Still there where echoes always care. Forever in the whispers on the stair. You used to hum at every turn, a sound that daylight couldn't learn. And though the tune had no refrain, it stirred the walls like autumn grain. I'd stand below and hear you go, a step by step, both fast and slow. Each creak, each sigh became a chord, a symphony we never stored. Now strangers pass that weathered bend with no idea of what we penned. The steps are scuffed, the railing bends, but in that space your ghost still wends. Not haunting, no, just gently near, a presence held in memory clear. As if the air itself could care to hold what lived upon the stair. Whispers on the stair abide through every loss, through every tide. They bloom where nothing else would dare, a garden grown in open air. No trace of names, no need to claim. The story still remains the same, still strong, still soft, still always there. Within those whispers on the stair.
Your sweater once again, pulled it closer like back then. Threads were tired, but they spoke of every vow we never broke. Each frame moment, each loop a song of nights that held us close and long. You wore it loose, you wore it proud. Now it folds in silence aloud. Your scent still clings along the sleeve, like promises that wouldn't leave. Not strong, not bright, not sharp or new, but soft like dusk and warm like truth. No letter came, no need to write. The fabric bore it all just right. Message sewn inside the seam of everything we dared to dream. Ashes in the thread survive, even as the sparks subside. Though time may pull the stitches free, it leaves behind the tapestry. And love it burns but not to dust. It lingers in forgotten trust. Not loud, not clear, not full of dread. Just quiet ash inside the thread. jewels, no golden rings, but thread can hold far brighter things. A scarf you wore, a glove you lost, each piece became a sacred cost. I found your glove beneath the bed, beside the books we never read, and in its curve I swear it sighed, a sound too soft to be denied. So take the thread, don't sew it fast, let every fiber speak the past. Don't mend the holes, don't try to hide the stories written where we slide. Each pull, each tear, each folded crease contains a storm, contains a peace, and even what we never said still burns as ashes in the thread. Ashes in the thread remain, beyond the joy, beyond the pain. They hum beneath forgotten shirts, in silence soft and fabric hurts, and love that's real will never shred. It holds its shape inside the thread. No blaze, no flood, no fear, no dread can wash the ash from what we've bled.
Wander through that quiet street where paper signs and twilight meet. No traffic sounds, no neon flame, just shifting air that spoke your name. The lanterns dimmed along the lane, their golden glow had turned to strain. But in that stillness, side by side, we walked with nothing left to hide. Your hand was steady, mine was cold, but neither feared the stories told. We passed a bench beneath a tree where I once carved a note for thee. The bark had healed, the lines had blurred, but still I felt each unsaid word. 1,000 paths that we could trade all ended where the lanterns fade. Where the lanterns fade, we stay, not gone, not lost, just moved away. The light grows thin, the sounds grow low, but love still walks in softened glow. No signs remain, no path is laid, but I still feel the vows we made, and every truth we can't replay still lingers where the lanterns stay. Dancing through the leaves, you never sang but made it known. Through every pause you stood alone, and yet with me the air would bend, as if the world could comprehend
quiet hearts and steady shape are strongest where the lanterns fade. We never marked a final place, no final touch, no clear erase, but something warm remains right here, a phantom hand, a breath sincere. So I return from time to time to feel your steps align with mine. And even if the fire decayed, it started where the lantern stayed. Where the lanterns fade, love stays, not in the light but in the haze. In every step, in every breath, beyond the reach of time or death, we pass through fire, shade and glade, and still we meet where lights have strayed. No map required, no rules obeyed, just hearts that beat